Welcome back to Death Toll Racing. We just got back from the racetrack with the twin turbo Crown Vic. So for those of you new to the channel, we have a 2010 Crown Victoria. It's on motor number 2. We blew the first one up, but it is a $160 junkyard motor with gapped rings, 2 turbos, and a T45 5-speed. So pretty cool setup. We had a lot of failures the first 2 times out though. So let's go through those, and then I'll show you how this thing actually performed. So really embarrassingly, I cannot tell if the clutch is slipping or the tires are spinning. So we're going to lower the air pressure way down, and I'm going to try it again. The thing stays so straight, I can't feel the difference between tires slipping.
All right, where are you dropping it to now, Gab?
18 pounds now. So after all that ended up being our stage 3 600 horsepower 6-puck clutch that's so fancy and a piece of crap and can't hold the motor. So anyway, let's change that. All right guys, so I got the turbos out, the exhaust. It's one of those things where it takes me about 20 minutes to take it out, or it takes me about 2 hours to take it out if I film it, so I didn't. And then I took the transmission out, which is actually really easy once you take that exhaust out. And we did, that clutch just couldn't hold. So we smoked that flywheel. I can't believe that thing slipped so bad, but it is what it is. This is where doing budget builds can be really frustrating, because you buy the cheapest part that should be good enough for what you're doing, like that, which is stage 3 clutch that's supposed to be good to 500 and some foot-pounds rear wheel at the rear wheels. It's not. That held nowhere near 500 foot-pounds at the rear wheels. All right, so I installed a dual disc Excetti clutch in this thing. It was all I could get in a timely manner. Let's see how this thing works. That got a little out of shape. Okay, so we may as well just line up against the fastest guy here. This is Ernie and his what looks like a beater S10, but it is far from that. Man, I really thought we would have had that one. Okay, so we are just spinning like we are on ice. We have to do something about this. These tires are just not going to work. All right, so we're going to be putting some cheater slicks on this thing. Whatever that, with a couple lines in them to make them streetable. And on some Summit Racing wheels. All right, so for those of you curious whether 15-inch wheels would fit on the back of a Crown Vic, they actually do just fine. So I do not believe you could get them on the front, but they do fit on the back. I will leave specs and a link in the description below. Just push see more, and there'll be a link and the specs of these wheels and my offset and all that stuff down there. Now that we fixed our traction issue, now we have to fix our turbo lag issue. So before it wasn't really much of an issue because I didn't have the traction anyway. Now it's going to be. Now that we will have traction, this is going to be the next problem that comes up. So we're using this MSD 2-step. This is a plug-and-play for the most part system for any of these 4654 motors from 99 on, according to MSD. And then I went and I got some little micro switches. So a little tiny micro switch. That's going to be what is on our clutch pedal, and we're going to make it adjustable so that that's what will engage and disengage our 2-step. All right, I'm not going to get in too much detail on this, but this is where I put my micro switch, and then I made a little bracket for it to ramp up on.
Can you hear it?
I think I have that pretty close to where I want it, but I'm not 100% sure either. All right, so I got it all installed. I got the micro switch on there. Let's see if it works. It did not. Now why? All right, guys, so I'm going to voice over this so I can make this part go faster. But when the directions say that when you plug these there's two wiring connectors in that go to the coils. When you plug those in, it says the light should be on when you turn your ignition on. And that's actually incorrect. The only reason it would be on is if you're actually pushing the switch with the ignition on. Otherwise, so if you plug it in, turn your ignition on, and that light is on, you actually need to switch them. And that's how it needs to be wired. So they don't have a direct, they don't have in the directions vehicle information on which way they're wired. You basically have to troubleshoot your way in. But the way they start you off is a little misleading. So anyway, hopefully that clears that up. All right, I'm not gonna lie, that's fucking cool. I was actually really surprised. I really thought that would throw a check engine light. I'm like, yeah, every time I do this, it's gonna throw a code. Because I mean, all of a sudden it's misfiring like crazy. I mean, you'd think it would throw a code, but it doesn't. It hasn't so far. I've done it quite a few times, a couple on camera and a bunch off. One more thing before I go. I'm not gonna be able to flat pedal shift it because once the RPMs are in excess of the set cutout RPM or rev limiting RPM that you have set, it doesn't rev limit. So it won't. Anyway, it won't rev limit at shift. So I'm still gonna have to shift it traditionally. I mean, I could flat pedal shift it, but I don't. We're running a stock motor here with turbos on it, so we have to be a little bit careful on what we're doing with this thing. So anyway, I just thought I'd mention that. That does not allow for it to cut out once it's in excess of the RPMs you have set on that box. So there you have it. Roll out. We're bringing a couple things down to the track today, including Aaron's Corvette, which I'll introduce here in a bit. All right, first pass out, we had the air pressure a little too low, so here it is. Okay, so what you just witnessed is not enough air pressure for this heavy of a car, especially on this surface, which is obviously not ideal. But this is where we've been racing on all 3 of the days we've had this thing out. Also, I let the clutch out way too hard with the amount of traction we have, so it pretty much stalled. Crappy launch, let's try again. All right, now that I'm figuring this thing out, let's put it up against the Corvette and see what it can do. Ooh la like I suspected, that Corvette didn't stand a chance if we were racing to 60 feet. So unfortunately, we raced a little longer than that, and he runs about a 12.2 out there that day. And we were running like a 13.9, which is pretty impressive for a big heavy Crown Vic, but it can do better. And it's going to do better next time out because we are going to be upgrading the gears to 4.56. We're currently 3.73. 3.73 is making it very awkward. One, the launch isn't very good. And two, I'm rolling over the finish line at quarter mile either in an overly wrapped out third, which I don't feel comfortable doing in a stock rotating assembly 4.6 with high miles. Or I could short shift fourth and roll through it. And short shifting it causes that smoke situation that you may have picked up on the end of the track. So we're going to look into that. Most likely PCV could be something to do with the oil system on the turbos and the return lines not pushing it up, or it could be blow by. Who knows? It could be any of those things. It is what it is, and that's not too much of a concern, but we are going to look into what might be causing that. Next time out, 4.56 gears, and hopefully some tires on that Corvette. So the Corvette will easily be into the 11s, well into the 11s with slicks. And the Crown Vic, I'm hoping, is going to be mid-13s. If we're really, really lucky and can drive really, really good, we may hit low 13s. And by that, I mean, what is technically low 13? Like 13.25? That's what we're going to go for. 13.25. Next time out. We'll see you then.